Go to another court now. Former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede and 21 co-accused have returned in court today. They face more than 2,000 counts of fraud, corruption and racketeering. That's in connection with the 2017 Durban Solid Waste Project. This is a court appearance ahead of the actual trial set to proceed next month. Let's go to senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, who's following those proceedings today. So, Dasen, today was purposes of a pre-trial. Does it look like a trial date will be set?
Well, the good news is that it looks like the trial will proceed next month. That's on the 18th of July. So that's one of the important things that came out of the pre-trial conference today. The other important bit is that the trial will no longer be held at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. It will now be here at Durban. That's something that there seemed to be consensus about from the defense team. They wanted it to be here. It was initially scheduled for Pietermaritzburg because of space issues, but that wish has now been granted. It will take place here. The state also had no objection to that. But before it gets to that point, there'll also be a few other issues to iron out, and one of those being raised by Jimmy House on the defense team. And he says that there were issues around the forensic report, and that forms the basis of the state's case. And the issues relate to the redactions in that report. And he says that he had struggled to make sense of it because of all of the names that had been taken out. And there were so many issues around that, and it just doesn't read easily. So that's now an issue that needs to be sorted out between the defense and the state. But coming back to your intro, Zandile Gumede herself was not here. It was the legal teams that were representing them, as well as two of the accused, the former city manager Sipho Nzuza and Zitulele Mkhize. Now, he is also a point of concern because he doesn't have legal representation yet, and that is something that has been an issue in the past right until this point.
So in terms of what the state has submitted so far in court, are they showing that they're ready to proceed with the trial?
The state says that it's 100% ready for the trial, as well as the defense team. So there are all indications that once these minor issues of these applications take place, one, for example, to get a full version of that forensic report, it seems like the state will proceed. There is one other slight issue on the defense side, and that relates to accused 15, 16, and 17. Their a lawyer says that he doesn't have money, or rather the clients don't have money to proceed because their assets have been frozen. So they may find themselves launching an application to get some of those assets unfrozen so that his fees may be paid. Otherwise, he says he'll be forced to withdraw, and that may pose a challenge when it comes to the time for the trial next month.
All right, Dasen, and when we return from a lunch break, I assume that's what's going on. What are we expecting the discussions to be? And also, Dasen, just remind us how many accused there are, and specifically Zandile Gumede, what is the state alleging her involvement was with this waste solid project?
Well, court has just adjourned now. We will be back here next month. But just talking about the background, Maseko, I mean, this is a really interesting case, and the state will have a lot to prove if the allegations in the indictment are anything to go by. I mean, what it says really is that the state is trying to prove that Zandile Gumede herself had received about 2.8 million rand in kickbacks from those tender deals, and that there was a criminal enterprise that was being run, and Gumede was at the forefront of that along with others. So people were allegedly placed in very strategic positions to ensure that funds could be withdrawn or taken away from the eThekwini municipality, and that comes to the senior management positions, those in the DSW unit, which relates to the waste management tenders, as well as contractors and subcontractors. So those monies were not all paid in cash, allegedly, to Zandile Gumede. It was also in the form of benefits that she may have received. So as I mentioned, when the case does eventually get underway, there will be lots more that will come out of it in terms of proving that. We're talking about over 2,700 charges here. So it seems like it will be sitting for a long period of time. I think the estimate at this point is over a month, Maseko.
All right, senior reporter Dasen Thathiah in Durban for us with that report. Let's leave it there for now.